Hello YouTube and welcome. My name is Casey Kelderman and this is my review of Krampus. As you can probably tell by my reactions there, I hated this movie, so let's start off with this. Krampus is a 2015 horror Christmas comedy starring Adam Scott, David Koechner, two very, very funny comedians. Love them both. Love Adam Scott in Parks and Rec. David Koechner is awesome in a lot of Will Ferrell comedies, including Anchorman. But this movie is just utter crap. Utter crap. How do you make just crap like this, Hollywood? Come on. Oh man, I was so excited to see this. I heard a lot of buzz all through the year about Krampus at the end of the year. It's coming out in December. It's a Christmas horror film. And then you got Adam Scott and David Koechner adding some comedy to it, and it just craps the bed. So the basic plot is this. This kid, he just wants to have a normal Christmas with his mom and his dad and his sister and his aunt and uncle and his cousins that come to visit. He just wants to have a normal Christmas with them without the bickering and the fighting that every family has. So he has Santa for that, but then he decided, that's not what I want. And then he tears up his his letter to Santa and throws it out the window. A day later, stuff starts hitting the fan. Everything goes crazy. There's a huge blizzard in town, knocks out all the power to the neighborhood, including their house, so they're left with nothing. The only light they have is their fire pit. So that's the basic setup, and then from there, Krampus starts showing up. People start dying left and right, and just nothing happens. It's the first half of the movie, just like any other horror movie, is the setup to the characters. But the setup actually feels really rushed, even though it's about a half hour of this movie. It feels so rushed. You don't care about any of these characters. You don't. The only character I actually kind of cared about was Adam Scott, just because Adam Scott, he's so charismatic, and the way he delivers some of his lines were really funny just because the way he delivered them, not really the lines himself. But everything else, they were trying to be a Christmas Vacation, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. I don't know what they were trying to go for. They were definitely leaning more towards the comedy in this film, I believe, because nothing scared me. This will be on IMDb a horror film, but this is not scary in the slightest. Nothing scared me at all. The only scares that you would call scary would be the jump scares that happen, but I don't find them scary. Nobody should find them scary. It's just loud bangs or something, popping up in front of the screen. That's not scary. Did I scare you there? No. That's not scary, Hollywood. As always, my reviews will always contain spoilers. We're going to get into spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the movie, don't see it anyway. But if you want to just stick around and hear me crap about this movie, go ahead, stick around. But anyway, like I said, once Krampus shows up about half an hour into this film, the main character, his sister, goes out to make sure her boyfriend's fine or whatever. But once that happens, she starts seeing, nobody's around. She sees a snowplow that's on this road. It's abandoned. And so she decides to hide under this van that's in the middle of the street. And once that happens, just like in the trailer, you see Krampus's hoof hit the ground, and then he leaves. And then you see this toy box that is left under the car, and all of a sudden you hear, the bang, and it zooms out to the top of the car, and there's a lot of shaking. Show me what happened. Come on, this is a horror film. You show what happens. I know some horror movies, it works when you don't show what happens, like Jaws, case in point, but this movie's not Jaws, okay? You need to show this stuff. From there, it gets back to the family. David Koechner and Adam Scott, they decide to go look for the little sister, or the older sister, I guess. And just, shenanigans ensue, I guess, if you want to call it that. They go outside and they try to find her, and this creature comes out and bites David Koechner's leg, and all of a sudden they get back to the house and they have to fix his leg. And they give this whole speech about protecting, the shepherd protects his herd or whatever. I don't care what it was because it just didn't make any sense. The main point of this movie was to focus on this kid, but we do for the first about 20 minutes for the setup. Then once stuff starts hitting the fan, he's only hugging his grandma this whole time. What? He's our main character. Do something with this kid. This kid doesn't do anything until the end, and it still doesn't make any sense. So once, back to where we were, Adam Scott and David Koechner, they're back at the house. They're just going to try to protect the family. stay there, make sure the fire's warm. The grandma tells them the story about Krampus. We get a actually pretty cool cartoon. It's another positive I'll give to it. It's kind of like the old animation style of the holiday special cartoons. That was okay. But then we get back to our reality. They don't know if they should believe this Krampus story or not. Once that happens, all of Krampus's minions are inside the house and they start attacking. So there's the gingerbread men, they attack David Koechner. That was just garbage. Terrible. They reminded me of like evil Alvin and the Chipmunks. I don't want to see that. Come on. That's terrible. No. And then they try to throw in some comedy with that. It doesn't fit this film. It doesn't need to be in here. Terrible. So I didn't like the gingerbread man. The next one we have is the angel, creepy faced white angel thing. That looked cool, but you couldn't see anything that was happening. It just looked like a puppet sitting on top of this woman's face for 5 minutes. And then we get the, what else was there? There was like an evil looking teddy bear that looked alright. I will say this, all the practical effects that they do in this movie look great. It's a great throwback to like 80s practical effects, but it doesn't matter when you don't show anything or give us characters to care about. So your practical effects can look fine and all, it just doesn't matter once you give us characters and a story that just doesn't make any sense and is terrible. We also get the big like slug Jack in the Box thing. That looked cool again, like I said, but you just don't care about these characters or this story just because it's so terrible. It was so bad. And then once that happens, we get this really cheesy moment where the aunt of the main character, she all of a sudden can start doing all these really cool things, and she starts she shoots the angel thing. She like takes an axe to another toy and she chases after this other thing, and I'm like, why are you trying to make these people that aren't action heroes? It's not cool. It doesn't make any sense, okay? That was terrible. Then once we get back downstairs, the family, you know, the two twin cousins, they get taken away. One of them does, and the other one goes back with the family. Who cares? I don't really care, as you can honestly tell. Anyway, they're back at the house, and so they decide to make a last ditch effort to try to get to the snowplow and just get to anywhere safe. So with that, all of a sudden, elves. Apparently Krampus has evil elves as well. Not only is he an evil Santa, he has evil elves. Okay, whatever. They break through the house. They take David Koechner. They take the baby. They maybe take someone else. I don't care if they did or not, because the ending will retcon every single death in this movie. That's so bad. Anyway, they take those people. There's about 5 people left in the group. Adam Scott decides, alright, we're gonna go make this last ditch effort. The grandma that tells him the story about Krampus, she's like, no, I need to face Krampus one-on-one. I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. She told him the story of Krampus. She actually met Krampus when she was a kid, so we'll see where this one goes. So the family leaves, the grandma stays. Krampus comes down the chimney. Looks pretty cool. We finally get to see Krampus in all his glory. Looks great, like I said, but all of a sudden he opens up his bag of goodies like Santa, and another jump scare. Imagine that. So then the grandma's gone there, so we're left with Adam Scott and about 4 other people. They're trying to get to the plow, like I said, and you know, this thing comes out of the snow again and it starts attacking them. Gets Adam Scott, it gets his wife, gets the aunt, and then the main character and his cousin are the last 2 people left. They try to get the plow started, can't start. Imagine that. And then the elves take both of them. So the elves take the cousin back to Krampus. Krampus shows up to the main character, the young boy, and gives him his Krampus Jingle Bell, whatever thing was. So he knows his lesson, not to give up hope or something. I don't know. They tried to throw in this Christmas message that's just so cheesy and terrible and just doesn't make any sense, honestly, once the end comes around. So anyway, we get back. The boy brings his his jingle ball, and she says, Krampus, I don't want this, and he gives the most overacting. The only time I laughed in this entire movie was this kid yelling at Krampus because it was so terrible. He's just like, ah, I don't want this anymore. He's like, I don't know what it was. It was like Sylvester Stallone when he was 12 years old. That's what it sounded like to me. And he throws the ball at Krampus. All of a sudden there's a huge rift in the ground and it creates this circle like to hell or something. I don't know. They didn't explain what it was. It was just a giant fire pit that opens up in this city. And apparently this has happened before, but there's no police records or anything of this, so whatever. Anyway, the kid's like, all right, take me instead, give my family back, give them all back to life. And Krampus, like, kind of would agree, kind of agrees to that, but then all of a sudden the elves throw the cousin into the fire pit, and he's like, I thought you agreed with that. And Krampus grabs the little boy and dangles him over the fire pit and just lets him drop. The kid falls and he wakes up and it's Christmas morning. Everything's fine. The family's back together. Everybody's down in the basement or in their living room, whatever, opening presents. And then all of a sudden he gets his present and it's the jingle bell and that says Krampus. And all of a sudden everybody like looks at him strange, like they knew what it was. I'm like, okay. And then it starts talking about how the story of Krampus and how it means to keep hope. And then all of a sudden it zooms out and they're inside this snow globe. There's a bunch of snow globes everywhere. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. Krampus has the power to make people's lives into snow globes? Oh, what? Oh, okay, whatever. If you're gonna throw this garbage at the end, do it, whatever. It felt so tacked on, felt like such a studio, like, I know you wanted your dark ending, but let's say the family lives at the end, they're living in a snow globe or something like that, okay? Yeah, that's my studio executive impression there. Garbage ending. So we zoom out, we're in Krampus's lair or whatever. It's a bunch of snow globes everywhere. It's obviously like other people trapped that Krampus has attacked or whatever. And all of a sudden at the end we're zooming out. I'm like, okay, we're gonna zoom out to a black and it'll pop up Krampus, you know, with horror music playing. No, we get another cheesy jump scare. As it's zooming out, all the toys pop up on the screen for one last scare to get you. Cheap, garbage jump scare again. Why do you think this is scary, Hollywood? It's not. Give us something actually scary in these movies, okay? Jump scares and things just popping up the screen are not scary, okay? So as you can tell, I did not like this movie at all. Definitely skip it. If you see it on Netflix or see it on cable sometime, skip it. Don't watch it. Even if you don't have to pay for it, don't watch it. I paid, you know, the $10 for the ticket and I wanted my money back. I did. It was so terrible and utter garbage. Don't watch this film. Krampus is one of the worst films of this year. Hands down. It might even end up being my worst film of the year. Terrible film, terrible characters, terrible plot. The only positive it has is the practical effects that they do not use enough and to their advantage. Terrible film. Overall, 2 out of 10 is what I'm giving Krampus. Garbage. 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 Okay? This movie is terrible. Thanks for watching once again. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those fun things. Do not watch Krampus, or as I like to call it right now, Krampus. Krampus. Do not watch this film because it is just crap. Anyway, thanks for watching once again, and have a great day.